book called The Heroic Client, which I think is really a different way of thinking as well. When we're brought into this field, we learn sort of expert models and delivering treatment and not necessarily privileging where the client's coming from. But that's saying that really listening to the client's view and taking their perception of the problem in a core way is really about good work. So can you talk a bit about that?
Sure. The kind of mythology in our field is the heroic therapist riding in on his white horse of theoretical purity and brandishing the sword of evidence-based treatment and slaying the psychic dragons that terrorize our clients, right? I mean, that's the way it is. That's the mythic story. But, actually the client is the hero, the heroine of their own story of change. They're the ones that bring the most to the table, have most investment in the change happening. Obviously, if we don't incorporate what they're walking in with, everything that has nothing to do with us or the therapy, what they walk in the room with, their resources, their resiliencies, their relational support, their religious affiliation, everything about them, if we don't figure out ways to incorporate that kind of repository of resources and things that they've overcome already in their life, if we can't figure out a way to encapsulate that, we're going to start with two strikes against us. It's the client's own view. They become the historians of their own change process. It's their voice. They're the centerpiece of the story of change, not the expert therapist. People will think that diminishes the therapist's role, but it doesn't. I mean, our skill and expertise still brings a lot to the table for people. It doesn't diminish that to say that, most of change emanates from the client. They account for most of the variance. However you want to say that stuff, doesn't diminish our role in that process. It's just a different role than has been portrayed.
Therapy might be a catalyst, but the client really, figures it out in their own way. And I think that's once they're energized and hopeful and supported, they have all kinds of ways to figure things out. If you're willing to take the back seat and go, you know what, this was a catalyst, it got them better, they figured it out in a way that didn't necessarily follow my theory, but it's going better, I'll take it.
It's a different skill set. It's a different interpersonal set than, I have the ABC model in my head, and this is the problem situation, this is what you need to do, this is the explanation. Kind of from a frank point of view, we provide an explanation and a ritual for the client's problem, and that's good. But and then if they want input from me, that's where my different models and techniques. I never met one I didn't like, model technique. There's something good about all of them, and they all have something to offer that may fit a particular client at a particular time and help them kind of formulate their own view of how they can improve. It's just not new therapists that do that. It's because we feel the pressure to intervene and be helpful, and just sometimes if we can just lean back and explore and listen, and what are your ideas, what are your views, how do you think this can be helped, and what have you considered before, and how do you want my role to be in this process, are you looking for ideas from me, and just kind of just calm down here a little bit.
Yeah, that's a great point. And the idea of being more patient, and less anxious about being good or an expert or having an answer. I see that with students all the time. They want to really solve problems very fast, and they stop listening, and they stop engaging, and they feel like, well, I have to be an expert here, so I have to have an answer, or I have to give advice, and it really doesn't work so well.
Just not practical, and you don't do good therapy that way.
No, sometimes you go faster by going slower.
You do, absolutely. That's certainly been my experience.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.